Hey guys, welcome back to Doing It DIY. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Allison. I can't wait for us to DIY together. You guys, I am a little bit sick, so if I sound stopped up or anything like that, that is the reason why. Everything we need to do these projects, as usual, is in the description box. We're going to go ahead and get started with the first project. I found this cute little bunny on Kirkland's. Their version was wooden, but I knew that I could do it. My version cost $1. I'm going to put the Kirkland's version up here right now so you can see. I think mine turned out pretty close. We're just going to start out by tracing a basic bunny outline onto a piece of foam board, and the best way to cut out an intricate pattern on a foam board is by using your X-Acto knife, kind of like a saw, just like I'm doing right here. And we're just going to cut that out. I really hope that you guys are all staying safe and warm. I know so many people are dealing with electrical outages and snow and ice. We are too. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is what you're going to get once you cut the little bunny pattern out. Mine's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. I'm just going to go ahead and mix some apple barrel antique white and snow white together. I didn't want it to be super white, but I didn't want it to be as yellow as the antique white can come off. And then I'm just going to go ahead and give one coat to the entire piece of foam board. And because there is a raw edge all the way around it, and I kind of wanted to seal that up, I went ahead and took a piece of nautical rope and split it apart. There's 3 strands that are braided together. I just used 1 strand and hot glued that all around the edge of our foam board just to give it a more finished look. The original one did not have this, so I added it. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler, and we're just going to draw lines all the way down the rabbit. This looks totally crooked. I have it tilted to the side, but they're definitely not crooked. So we're just going to make it look like wooden slats because that's what the original had. Super easy. And then I'm just going to take some apple barrel pavement paint and trace over those lines to give them more definition and make them look more like wooden slats. And because I don't want it to be super dark like that, I'm just going to go ahead and take that same antique white and snow white and just here and there go over those lines so that they're a little bit more subdued and not quite as bright and in your face. And then I took some beautiful little buffalo plaid ribbon and made a bow. I'm going to link below the bow tutorial I used. It was super easy. She explains it so well and much better than I could, so I'm just going to leave it below for you. And then you can use any kind of greenery you want, but I have these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and I decided to use those, and they worked perfect for this. I love the rub-on transfers. I will say that they're kind of hit or miss, though. These worked beautifully. I didn't have any issues, but I've used a couple of them that I did have some issues with. But these were super easy. I just took a craft stick, a big craft stick. You can also use your little scraper for your Cricut, and I just rubbed over it and pulled it off, and they came off flawlessly without any issues. Again, if you wanted to use some greenery here instead, you definitely could. I just had these on hand and I wanted to use them. And then you're just going to take any kind of florals, any kind of greenery. What you want to do does not matter. You can be as creative here as you want to be. You can be as colorful as you want to be. If you know me, I like simple, and I usually like neutral colors. That's what I stuck with for this. My other 2 projects have enough color, so I decided that this one was going to be very neutral. So I just used some, I took some hydrangeas apart, and I used the white and green, or white and yellowish green of those, and then I did use a little bit of lavender as well. And this was super easy. The whole project took about 10 minutes, and I love the way that it turned out. It's just a cute little bunny for Easter that you can hang up on the wall. You can do whatever you want with it. I don't know if you guys are decorating for Easter yet. I decided I didn't want to decorate for not Valentine's Day, for, oh my goodness, what is it called? For St. Patrick's Day. And instead I wanted to jump straight into Easter/spring, so I thought I would go ahead and share a few of those with you that I've already done. And I just put some lavender sprigs in there as well because I thought it needed a tiny bit of color. But again, you could do whatever you want here. You can use all different kinds of colors. You can stay neutral like I did. Make it your own. Definitely, you don't have to follow what I did. And then I went just ahead and took another piece of that nautical rope and hot glued it to the back so that it could be hung up. This was so easy, guys, and I love the way it looks, and I hope that you guys do too. I also want to tell you before we get into the next project, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I have been watching my subscriber count for the past few days, and I was so excited that you guys got me to 1,000. So thank you guys so much. I can literally not thank you enough. It makes me so happy. I'm sure you can hear the smile on my face right now in my voice. But this is our bunny. I hope you like it. And we're going to go into project number 2. I love this one. It's so cute. I think it's so easy too, and it's a great little centerpiece thing. We're going to use 3 of these mason jar wooden cutouts from the Dollar General. My store does still have them in stock, so if you want to do this, run out and grab you some. And the little metal part at the top is screwed on, and I didn't want to unscrew that or pop it off, so I just took some thin little washi tape and taped that along the top so that we could paint it without getting paint all over the metal. And then I'm just going to take 3 different colors of apple barrel paint, and the colors are listed below, and mix them with a little bit of Snow White by Apple Barrel to give them more of a pastel look. This is so far outside my comfort zone because I don't love a lot of color. I'm very, very neutral in my color palette around the house. I can feel myself getting stopped up, guys. I'm so sorry. But we're just going to go ahead and I ended up giving each one of these 2 coats because you need to cover up the graphic and the words and all that. So it did take 2 coats, but it covered pretty well. I was honestly surprised by how well it covered. And I love the way these colors came out. They're so cute. And they are very pastel. So if you don't have pastel paint, I know that Waverly Chalk Paint has a lot of great colors like that, but I didn't have any of that, so this is what I went with. Then I'm going to take another one of those Valentine's signs and pull it apart. We're going to use this for the base. I didn't fill in the holes with our wood filler, and the reason why is because we're going to cover up later, so you don't need to do that. I mixed 2 different colors of paint together, some elephant gray and some antique white, and we're just going to go ahead and paint the entire top of that and the sides. You don't have to paint the bottom. It's going to just be sitting down. If you want to paint it, of course you can. I never take the time to do that, but it's totally up to you. And then I have the cutest little hop with a bunny for the O, SVG or vinyl that I used to do this. You can definitely recreate this easily by printing these out and using the carbon paper method with the pencil or even carbon paper and just cover those. But if you want to use the one that I use, it is linked in the description box below, and this is what you come out with. I think this is so cute. I love it so much. We're going to go ahead and connect all 3 of those mason jars together, and then we're going to attach them to this base, and we're just going to attach them together with some hot glue like you see me doing here. I've been so worried all day long that our electric's going to go out because we have about a ½ inch of ice outside and about 5 inches of snow. We were supposed to get 10 plus, so I guess I should be happy that we didn't, but we have so much ice it's a little scary, and it's very cold here. So, but I know there's so many people that are without electricity, and I just hope everybody is staying safe and warm because this weather is no joke. And then we're just going to take, I hate switching like that, but we're just going to take our 3 mason jars that are hooked together, and we're going to glue them to that base, and then we're going to take a little bit of hot glue and some of those tumbling tower blocks and put them on the back of our mason jars just to give it a little bit more stability. And that's what you got. You can, of course, take those little Dollar Tree tags off. I don't know why I didn't. And that's what it looks like once it's on the base. And we're going to go ahead and take some Spanish moss. You can use the brighter green moss if you want. That's totally up to you. I just think this looks a little bit like a bird's nest, and I love the way it looks. And again, it's neutral, and I'm all about that. So we're just going to take some hot glue and hot glue that to our base. And I'm just using a tool from my Cricut to kind of push it all down into place so I don't burn my fingers. And then once we have it all on, we are just going to take a regular pair of scissors and trim it up where we have it hanging over the sides and the front and the I love it. I think it's so cute. There we go. Now we're going to trim it. We're just going to trim it up and make it just a little bit more clean and finished looking. And then I'm just going to go ahead and push those hangers down because we're not going to use those. I guess you could, if you didn't want to put it on the base, you could definitely hang it up. And you can use florals here if you wanted to. You definitely can do that. I just decided that I wanted to go ahead and make it so much more Easter-like. So I took these foam Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree and just pulled the ribbon that is the little hanger out from the underneath side. And then I just glued them onto our Spanish moss. Super easy. You can use as many or as few as you want. I just love the way that this turned out. I hope that you guys like it too. And there we go. I love it. It's so cute. And last but not least is this super easy little Happy Easter Easter egg tree. Everything you need is on the screen. I ended up making my own faux tree. You can, of course, use a styrofoam tree, but I used some paper and some Walmart bags, some grocery store bags, and it worked perfectly. But first, I'm going to take some Cobalt blue and some Snow White, both by Apple Barrel, mix those together to give it a little bit more of a pastel kind of color. I love the way this one turned out. The color of it is completely different, though, in the photo than it actually is in real life. It's much closer to what you see right here. But we're just going to go ahead and paint that inside and out. And then you see I made a cone out of some printer paper, some long printer paper I had, and just stuffed it with garbage bags from Walmart or Kroger or wherever, and made a little tree form to put these Easter eggs on. And then I just glued it onto a piece of cardboard. It was super easy. If you have a foam tree, definitely use that instead. It's not going to be nearly as much work as what this was. But if you don't have one and you want to do this, you can definitely do what I did. And then I used a little bit of that paint to cover that up. And then I'm going to use two different kinds of eggs. I'm going to use these cute little picks that I found at the Dollar General and the little plastic, both speckled eggs from the Dollar Tree. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue those all over this little tree form, here and there, wherever you want. You don't want it to be super covered. We're going to fill it in with some reindeer moss, but you can put as many or as few as you want. I like the way that mine turned out, but you have to kind of hold the egg on there for a minute or for a few seconds because it does want to kind of slide off. Just keep that in mind. But we're just going to start first with the bigger eggs, and I love these eggs. They're so cute. They're speckled. I just love the way that they look. And then I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of contrast, so then I added some smaller speckled eggs, and I found these from the Family Dollar. And you get something like this. Of course, you can add more if you want. You can add less. It's totally up to you. Then we're just going to take that Spanish moss and pull it into little pieces and take our hot glue and just glue it little piece by little piece all over this tree, down between the eggs in little crevices. You want to make sure you get every piece of the tree form covered up. And of course, at the end, you can go back and trim all this up because you're going to have it. It's going to look crazy for a little bit, but that's okay. And you're just going to go through the whole tree and do this. You probably will need a whole pack of Spanish moss or very close to it because it doesn't look like a lot of space that you're going to have to cover, but it does end up being quite a bit that you end up having to use. So you're just going to, and you can take a pair of scissors or anything that you have that you can touch the hot glue with and just kind of poke it through in the little cracks, and you get the basic idea of what we're trying to do. This is what our little bucket looks like when it's dry. We're just going to go ahead and take 3 different colors. I used Waverly Mineral, Apple Barrel Chocolate Bar, and Apple Barrel Antique White, and just dry brushed all 3 of those on just to give it a little bit of distressing. We're going to add an SVG file on this, or SVG file. We're going to add some vinyl on this in a minute, but I wanted to give it a little bit of something. And I'm still using those UPS labels because I don't have any transfer paper. I keep forgetting to go get some. We've had really bad weather. I haven't felt the greatest. There's all kinds of different reasons why I'm still using this UPS paper, but it works. So whatever. I have this SVG file linked down below for you too. I love it. It's so cute, and I thought it would be perfect to put on the bucket for this tree. And that's what it looks like. And then we're just going to go ahead and take that tree and hot glue it directly to the base of our little bucket. And you want to make sure when you are cutting the tree and the cardboard, I didn't tell you this, but you want to make sure that it's the same diameter as your little bucket, unless you want it to sit down inside, which you can totally do. Otherwise, you want to make sure it's going to set on there evenly and not be all wonky and things like that. But you're just going to put a good amount of hot glue around the outside of the cardboard on the bottom of the tree and just pop that baby on there. It sticks pretty well. You don't need to worry about anything else. At this point, it's done, and that's it, guys. I hope you liked these DIYs. If you guys are getting ready for Easter and you're also doing Easter DIYs, please let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I would love to have you as part of the Doing It DIY family. That's everything, you guys. I will see you again on Friday with some more DIYs. Bye-bye.